Since 1985. That was when Super Mario Bros. Came out. 1999 is when Super Mario Bros. Deluxe came out. This is Doc Phoenix playing all the Marios, and this is the Game Boy Color remake of Super Mario Bros. With a hell of a lot of features. So, we've got all sorts of things. You just look at some shit. Toy box. We got a toy box with a calendar. We can go on the calendar and look at the years on the calendar.
No, it's Y2K compliant.
Yeah, it's okay. It cannot go up to 3,000,
but you can go to the year 1,000
to 29.99. No, it does go up to 3,000. 3,000 is the largest year it allows. Look at that. And you can put marks on the calendar for the different things you want to mark your calendar with.
Yeah.
There's all these icons.
New date. New date.
Maybe put in a label on the thing.
End date.
This is the end of time. There we go. There! Now we have marked this as the end of time.
And you can print it if you have
the Game Boy printer. There's just a lot of connectivity things you can do with the Game Boy printer. Anyway, that's the calendar. Now let's do some fortune telling.
What?
I'm lucky! Boxes may contain clues to the quest.
What quest?
So there's just a little you can do fortune telling. You can do fortune telling. Oh, extremely lucky! Kindness given is returned tenfold.
Is it just like a?
It's just a little goofy.
A fortune?
Yeah, it's like a fortune cookie thing almost. Okay. Except if you manage to get extremely lucky, which I got luckily on the second try. If you then start a new game, you will have 5 extra lives. You saw a little 5-up show up. So, we'll see that when I start. And here's an album. It's blank.
Oh.
There's a lot of things that we could potentially fill this album with. And whoops, it pressed B twice. But hey, we've got records too. Look at these records. Look at all these scores. Luigi's the best.
Well, we all know that.
And we got scores for each of the individual stages. And we've got a versus, challenge, and the original. So, challenge we can't really do anything with until we've unlocked stuff through the original. And versus requires Link, which is going to require a lot of extra setup to do. I'll do that at some point. But, let's jump into original 1985 game. And we've got a little world map. And you can see I've got 10 whole lives, because I got lucky.
Extremely lucky.
So, it's Super Mario Brothers. We saw, this is the game, this is 1-1. It's slightly different and weird because this is a Game Boy screen, which can't really fit the whole
Yeah, I was gonna
thing.
say the aspect ratio is a little off.
Yeah, but, there we go. But yeah, it's Super Mario Brothers. And here we have Super Mario Brothers. So, I was thinking, since a lot of this is going to be, retreading shit that we've seen several times? Not exactly. This is only the second time that we've actually seen Super Mario Brothers.
Right.
But, I was figuring, since we're going to kind of be retreading old ground here, this game doesn't really have its own story. We can take this opportunity to give, a full retread of what the full story is. Because, a lot of the things were, we figured out plot things that were happening in the games after we finished playing them, or, later games revised our understanding of the world of things, so, there's a lot of stuff that we've kind of figured out and come up with that, we haven't explicitly said on video in a nice, easy, clear format. So, that's what I'm thinking we can do for this game. Whoops. But, yeah. So, everything started back when Mario was a baby. which...
is where everything went wrong, really.
Yeah! That's what Kamek would say. That's what the Koopa Kingdom would say. So, Kamek, the infant King's Bowser's guardian, advisor, regent, caretaker, foresaw that 2 babies would be born that, when they grew up, would cause great trouble for the Koopa clan. And so decided to try kidnapping them to alter the future. This didn't work. Yoshi's got involved. Fuck. Yeah, this didn't work. Because the Kamek only managed to grab one of the babies, and Yoshi's grabbed the other baby, and they used the psychic link between the 2 babies to find the other baby, and they tore across the island slaying Koopa troops left and right, and found the castle, and beat up Bowser, and rescued baby Luigi, and then Kamek fled with baby Bowser to the moon. There's a lot of stuff that happened in Mario's childhood that we haven't really gotten to yet. I know there's a lot more adventures that baby Mario and Luigi end up having at some point.
But we've seen Mario's early days.
Mario's early years was not actually Mario's early years. That we'll get to. You're jumping ahead.
Okay.
You're jumping ahead to the early years. So, what am I thinking? What am I doing? I'm splitting my focus between some things here, but, so yeah, there's a lot of adventures that Baby Mario and Luigi are gonna end up having that we haven't seen yet. But, for the moment, our understanding of the timeline is that at some point, Smash Castle. At some point, the babies moved to Earth, because they grew up in the Mushroom Kingdom. Or they were born, their parents were in the Mushroom Kingdom. They were delivered by Stork to their parents in the Mushroom Kingdom. But at some point, they moved to Earth. And Luigi went and got a job in a bottling factory, and Mario got a job as a carpenter, and things were okay for a while until a gorilla attacked. Then that is when Donkey Kong showed up from the jungle with a kidnapped woman, Pauline, and brought her up to the top of Mario's work site. And Mario wanted to rescue her. He wanted to be a big hero. And he did. He climbed up the work site and saved the girl and beat up the gorilla and put the gorilla in a cage. But then, that was a violation of workplace safety regulations. He should have left it to the proper authorities, and he was fired.
So, he kind of started a zoo, I guess?
He decided to, like, he no longer had a job, but he did have a giant gorilla in a cage. So he kind of, I don't know what he was thinking, some kind of animal taming gig or something. He was kind of a supervillain. He got a secret hideout somewhere, like off in the jungle, I think. But, yeah, the gorilla's kid, Donkey Kong Jr., eventually showed up to find his father, who never came back from the city. And, he tracked down Mario and almost murdered Mario, and rescued Donkey Kong, and they got off. And then Mario had nothing left, not even a giant gorilla. So, then Mario, with no job, no gorilla, no nothing, he decided his days of being a supervillain were over. He went back to the city, back to New York, and he spoke with his brother. And his brother suggested, hey, maybe get a job with me at the bottling factory. It's a pretty good job. It's nice, it's stable, it's not too hard. So he does. He goes and gets a job at the bottling factory. And then he realizes, while he's there, that it's kind of unsafe working conditions. After nearly being murdered by a gorilla, he has a much greater appreciation for mortal dangers and a much greater interest in safety. So he notices that there's some unsafe practices going on in the bottling factory. And he brings them up to management, but management doesn't want to deal with that. I mean, fixing this stuff would cost a lot of money. And they don't like it when people show up and try to rock the boat like that. So Mario he's not letting up. He's complaining about the safety issues. He's suggesting that maybe he's going to bring him up to OSHA and other regulatory boards. And that's when the bosses decide that they need to get rid of this guy. So they start basically sabotaging Mario, and by extension Luigi, because they were working on the same factory line. They started speeding up production until they just couldn't keep up. It was just completely unreasonable. And after a while, they couldn't keep up. They started dropping product, breaking bottles, and so the bosses used that as an excuse to fire both of them. So, with no jobs now, Luigi went off and started a plumbing business. Became an independent plumber. Mario went to find another job. He ended up at a cement factory. And the cement factory was so much worse than the bottling plant in terms of safety. They had, like, conveyors. The elevators had no safety rails. The cement dumping could overflow easily onto the cement truck drivers. People were getting injured left and right. It was terrible. So he was absolutely all on top of just getting this place written up and shut down. And of course, the bosses there, they quickly saw that he was gonna be a problem, and they also sabotaged him in the same way. This, I guess, was a common thing in New York at the time. Blue-collar jobs in the 80s. I can believe that. But, yeah, and that Mario kind of got a reputation as a whistleblower, an OSHA whistleblower, after doing that at 2 different job sites. So, he couldn't find a job after that. He was having some real trouble getting any work afterwards. So, then, again, he saw his brother saying he couldn't find another job, and then Luigi's like, you know, I'm being a plumber. I started this plumbing business. It's going alright. It should be a plumber with me. And that's when Mario became a plumber. The one and only time that Mario has ever actually been a plumber, for this brief period with his brother. And they lucked out hard and got a contract with the city to maintain the city sewers. So, they're down in the sewers, they're doing their work, and monsters show up. There's just these friggin' monster turtles and crabs and flies and just weird shit going on. And, so they've got to fight these monsters in the sewers. And, because, I mean, they've got to maintain the sewers, that's their job, that's what they have on the contracts. The contracts probably didn't stipulate monsters, but, they're hardworking folks. They did the job. They wanted to make sure that everything was working. So, they saved the day, they beat up the monsters, they saved the city. The city rewards them, everyone's happy. And this got the attention of some folks high up that, Mario got drafted.